Welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Tuesday, December 10th, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions, or at least wade through your financial life with a fresh set of eyes and ears. The we is me. I am Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst and a certified financial planner. He, my co-host, is Mark Talercio. He is the executive producer of Everything Jill on Money. And you're also a certified financial planner, Mark. So hello and welcome to well into December. Now we're done. We've got 2 weeks before people really shut down, right?
The countdown is on. 2 weeks from today is Christmas Eve. So, yeah.
Oh, God. I just found out that we are going to have 4 people staying with us around Christmas time.
That sounds
extras.
like 4 too many.
But it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. I think it's actually sometimes it's a little bit better to have more than just one, because one of the people who stays with us sometimes annoys the you know what out of me. Love her, great friend, but like it's enough. So it's almost like you need a bigger buffer, right? And that's good. So I think I'm happy about it. It's good. It's all good.
Sounds very enchanting.
Oh, that's nice. It's going to be a lot of cooking, but I like it. Mark, how much sauce did you make for me? Just can you bring some? Can you bring me a few quarts? Yeah. What do you got? What do you got in the freezer?
There's definitely some sauce in the freezer. For
I
sure.
know it.
Theo
I knew it.
Theo will not go a week without having sauce. Like that is his food. That's his
his
comfort
go-to.
food. That's his comfort food. That, and you know what else? Like if you ask him, Theo, what are your top 5? So sauce, and then also pesto. Kid loves pesto.
Oh, I love that. What a mature palate he has. My goodness.
The other ones, I don't know, some dumplings and a couple of other Chinese dishes, but he loves his pasta.
Love it. So that is the Italian part of him. It's very good. All right. Very good. Hey, Mark, where is the bio and the headshot that I can look at for the website?
They're done. Do you want to see it before it goes live?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Of course I do. First of all, I don't trust you. Because I may not like the picture you put up, and I don't know if I'm going to like your bio because you're not going to say enough good stuff about you. That's what I really want to make sure. You're a very humble man.
Less is more.
True, but I still want to see it. So send that off to me. I want to see the picture too. On the website, by the way, we're talking about JillOnMoney.com, where there is a part it says about. Is that what it says, Mark? Isn't it says about us or about?
Yeah, about.
And I have been begging Mark to include himself. And a year later, he said, yes, he would. It was all like, oh, I'm moving. And then it's like, oh, I have to do the construction. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. And finally, months and months and months and months later, he says, yes.
I'm out of excuses.
You are out, baby. Also, Mark is finished with his decision on how much the price of Jill on Money Live will be, our subscription service. It costs $35 right now for the next 12 months. If you join now at $35, you are grandfathered in, and you will get $35 for the next 12 months. And if you join in a month from now, it will cost you $45. Right, Mark? Isn't that it?
I believe that's what we settled on. $45 for the year, yes.
$45, still a bargain, truly. Mark really wants to put all of our content behind the paywall, but I don't know. I don't feel like I feel like that's kind of snobby. I don't know if we can do that.
I think maybe that's the future. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. We got a lot going on.
Not anytime soon.
No. So anyway, go to JillOnMoney.com. That is where you're going to find all this cool stuff. And upper right-hand corner, there is the beautiful Contact Us button. And that Contact Us button will allow you to ask us a question, and we answer those questions. And we also try to give you timely advice about things going on right now. And that is why today we are going to air a segment that appeared on CBS Mornings when we were talking about charitable giving. Mark, I know that we talk about this a lot on the show because there's different aspects to charitable giving, but this is the time of year that people do this. And I thought it was so funny because we talked about it after this letter came out from Warren Buffett about his charitable giving. So I want to play the segment. And on the other side of this segment, Mark and I are going to talk a little bit more about some of the ins and outs of charitable giving, some of the scams, why you have to worry about that. But let's start with this. This is a segment on charitable giving. The anchors are Tony DeCopel and Adriana Diaz.
It is the spirit of giving. Jill, there's a way to do it smartly. There's a way to not do it smartly. What advice do you have, especially from the Oracle of Omaha?
Okay. So a couple weeks ago, Warren Buffett billionaire extraordinaire, made his philanthropic giving announcement to his shareholders. By the way, he's worth almost $147 billion. So this was just part of his plan. We don't have billions to give away, but the cool thing about what he did was I think he models great behavior, which is instead of being reactive to charity, instead of feeling like, oh, I'm in Times Square, I should do this, what we really want people to do is be thoughtful and intentional. So whether that's maybe this time of year, after the first of the year, or tax time, I think it's great for each household to sit down and say, if we are charitable, how much are we going to give? What are the charities we want to give to? Maybe have a little slush fund for your friends like Jill who do bike trips and raise money for charity, but not a lot. And then when it comes to this time of year, when you are inundated with requests, you have your game plan. And then you could say, no, it's fine. It's just good for you to actually have a plan before you enter the season.
And didn't Warren Buffett make a decision about not wanting to pass too much wealth on to his descendants?
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. He basically said, I love my kids. I know my kids. I'm not into dynastic wealth. And I think that most families would love to have that problem and think about that. But when we're talking about this, the way I take something away from that is I say, you know, so many families that I encounter, people who call my podcast and my radio show, they'll say, I want to help my kids out, my grandkids. And you say, wait a minute. You're not in very good shape right now. We need you to take care of yourself before you do that. And by the way, same thing with charitable giving. It's wonderful to be charitable, but you've got to lock down your own financial future as well. So this should all be part of the process.
Right. I mean, he's not into dynastic wealth. A lot of people are not into dynastic poverty, right? If they can help their kids lift up and take off, they're going to try it. But when you make a donation, it's tax deductible, right?
Not always.
No.
What? Okay, so when you're talking about you make your deduction, you have to be a certain kind of tax filer. So back at the end of 2017, there was a new standard deduction, meaning this big chunk of money that you can lop off the top of your taxes. If you had more deductions than the standard amount, you'd be an itemizer. So you see those as standard amounts. You're single, it's 14.4, and it goes up from there if you're married and head of household.
These are charitable deductions?
No, these are your standard deductions. So when you file your tax returns, it means that that's the chunk of money you get to take off the top. 90% or so of tax filers file with a standard deduction, okay? It's an easier way to file. Only people who itemize their deductions get a tax write-off. If you claim the standard deduction on your tax return, you don't get a tax deduction, okay?
Whoa.
I know. And you know what you may be confused about? Because a lot of people were freaking out. They're like, wait a minute. I know I got a deduction in 20 or 21. That is because during COVID, there were special rules put in place for people to give $500 or $1,000 as a couple who did get a deduction. No longer. You must claim itemized deductions in order to actually get any sort of tax benefit from your charitable
Well, that's
giving.
annoying.
Why? It's okay.
Well, but you have to
That's
pay
not why
more. It's
people
more
give.
hassle.
But more people give because they want to give. That is, I mean, it has been the case in the United States. We have an incredibly generous country.
It is remarkable.
It's unbelievable. And so people do this from all income levels. Most people are not giving for taxes. Yeah, if you're rich and you're itemizer and you're not so rich, it's great. You get a little bump. But there are other ways that you can get benefits. One way is, let's just say you're Adriana and you bought Bitcoin at 1,000 and it's trading at 100,000. You got this Bitcoin.
Definitely into Bitcoin.
Yeah, totally not. But but if you make money with an asset, right? You might have said to yourself, well, if I sell this asset, and it doesn't have to be Bitcoin, it could be anything, right? If I sell it, I have to pay a capital gains tax, and that hurts. But if you gift that asset directly to charity, you basically can push that money over to the charity. You never have to pay capital gains on it. Charity doesn't have to pay capital gains. So it's a nice way to take some winners and give it away.
Oh, that's a good one. That's creative.
Okay. So, Mark, one thing that we didn't get to in this segment is the whole aspect of how much the charitable season includes scams. I got this incredibly scary email from the IRS, which essentially said that this is the highest time of scams right now between holiday shopping and charitable giving at the holiday season. This is scam central, basically. So I don't know how to say this in a clearer way. please do not share your sensitive personal information. Please make sure that you do not donate over the phone or give anyone your credit card or personal information until you verify the organization. And once again, I am in the tank for the IRS because their website is really good, irs.gov. They have a tax-exempt organization search tool. Mark, if you were to get a call from somebody asking for a charitable donation, you wouldn't give on the phone, would you?
No, 100% not. In fact, even when I see the people on the street who are, sometimes they're legit, but even when I see those people on the street, I just go to the other side of the street.
I just think that it's a really, it's just such a weird time because you're inundated with messaging. And I think that's part of the brilliance of the fraud, which is they know that you are inundated with all this information and they know that you're not paying attention to that this is not really the American Cancer Society. They might call it the American Cancer Organization, and it kind of looks like the same logo. And that's the confusion.
Let me tell you, the last 2 weeks, I don't know if it's like the turn of the calendar or what, but every day I get 3 to 4 calls every single day on my cell phone. It's always in the morning or early afternoon, but it's been relentless.
I told my mom, I was with my mom over Thanksgiving and the phone rings and I see the number. It's like 866. So I said, don't answer it. She goes, well, what if it's important? I said, who is it going to be important? Well, what if it's a doctor? I said, they'll call you back. Don't worry. They'll find you. And what doctor's calling from an 800 number? One thing I did have my mother do is the qualified charitable distribution, which I love so much. No, I don't feel like enough people get this, but you know how many of you complain to us that you don't want to take money out of your retirement account and pay tax on it? You don't have to if you're over 70 and a half. If you've got a pre-tax IRA, you can do what is called a qualified charitable distribution, a QCD. I think this is like an amazing deal. I don't know how it continues to exist because it's really a boon for people who don't need the money in their retirement accounts, i.e. rich people. So you can have up to $105,000 go directly from that IRA account to a qualified charity, direct to that charity, right? Can't take the distribution yourself. And you're not going to get a charitable deduction for it. That's okay. You don't need it. You're just not going to get taxed on the money. It's brilliant. I don't know why many more people are not using it. It's kind of a pain in the neck, I will say, because like after doing it a few years with my mom, it's like you have to actually have cut checks sent physically to organizations. You can't wire the money. Isn't that a pain in the neck? Nuts. Anyway, if you reduce your adjusted gross income on this, you know what you can also do? You can maybe be able to reduce that whole IRMA thing, that, income related monthly adjustment to your Medicare, which you all hate so much. All right, Mark, how about just giving money from a high, like let's pretend I bought Bitcoin at 1,000 and now it's 100,000. And can I gift that to somebody? Can I gift a highly appreciated asset to an organization?
Sure. Why not?
Why not? Right? Now, the thing that's weird is, like, again, Tony went completely ballistic about this in the midst of the segment. Like, everybody should get a tax deduction. That's not how the tax code works. And I yelled at him after. I was like, Tony, calm down. Like, if you claim the standard deduction, no, you don't get to claim a charitable deduction. But if you had an investment account, let's forget about Bitcoin. Let's just say, markets are up big this year. You want to gift a security from a taxable brokerage account. You can gift the security. Just gift it. You can say, I'm giving $1,000 of this particular stock to whatever organization, charity you want, and you don't have to pay any capital gains. Isn't that nice? Can't you do that?
And plus, like you said, I think, didn't you say during the segment, like most people are giving because they want to give, not because they're doing it for the tax break.
Exactly. I think it's very interesting. I mean, Americans are very generous. And then, of course, my favorite, the donor advised fund. Mark, I want you to do the donor advised fund. You're not there yet. I don't feel like you're ready to do that.
Not after this move, no. Talk to me in a few years.
Well, listen, a donor advised fund is great. You can put money into this fund from either highly appreciated assets or cash. And if you do want a big tax deduction, great. Maybe you have a huge year, like there's a year where you have a big gain, or you've made a lot of money, or you sold a house and there's some tax ramifications, rental property. A donor advised fund allows you to basically put a ton of money into an account that is going to be given away over time to charity, and you take the deduction all in 1 year. So that's kind of cool. I love it. I love my donor advised fund. It's so great. It's so easy to use. So that being said, I think it is time to be charitable. I think it's wonderful to be charitable. And if you have a question about how to be more charitable and maybe get some tax benefit from it, we can help you out. Just go to jillonmoney.com, click the contact us button, write us that note, and we'll get it and we'll either read it on the air or we'll bring you on the air live with us. And I think being on the air live with us is more fun. You can sign up for the free weekly newsletter while you're on the website, which is so great. It comes out every single Friday. All right. Let's just remind you that Mark Tolaire Show is the co-host and executive producer and king of all things web. We are distributed by Paramount Global. We drop episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you would not mind, please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. Do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
Paramount Podcasts.